Hi everybody, it's Miss Kathy and welcome back to another episode of Budding Builders. So as a reminder, Budding Builders is a program where I tell you a story or give you some information and then give you a building challenge. And these challenges are intended to be completed, to be built with whatever you have on hand. So if you have Legos that you want to use, you can absolutely use Legos. If you have wooden blocks or you have a bunch of recycled materials, use those. If you have Matchbox cars and you want to use those to build something, give it a try. So the intention is for you to build with whatever you already have. And today, our challenge is going to come from Jack and the Beanstalk. So let's jump into it. So you probably know the story of Jack and the Beanstalk. We're going to start with Jack, who lives with his mother, and they don't have a lot of money. So they actually are so in need of money that they can't buy food, they can't buy new shoes, they can't buy anything. They're barely surviving. And so Jack's mother says the only solution, the only way that we are going to survive is if we sell Bessie, our cow. Now, Bessie has been a faithful friend to Jack. She has provided milk and been a real support. And really, Jack is pretty lonely if not for Bessie. But he's a good son. So he says, Mom, you want me to go sell the cow? I will sell the cow. So Jack and Bessie go to the market, and Jack is nervous. He doesn't want to sell Bessie because she's his best friend, but he knows he has to. So they get to market, and there they are approached by an old man who looks at Jack, who squints at him and says, "You, Jack, come here. You're selling your cow." And Jack says, "Yes, sir, I am." And the old man says, "No. I'm going to trade you your cow for these beans." And Jack is not convinced, because Jack is not a fool. And Jack says, 3 beans, 4 beans, not a fair trade for an entire cow. But the old man says, "Oh, no. These are magic beans. And if you plant them tonight, by morning, you will have a beanstalk that reaches all the way up to the sky." And that piques Jack's curiosity. So he says, "Okay, sure, but if these beans are not magic beans, I am taking my cow back." So he trades the cow for the beans, and he goes home. And his mother, how do you think she reacts? She is not pleased that he has traded an entire cow for a handful of beans that are supposedly magic. So she says, "You foolish boy, how could you be so reckless? We are going to starve, we have no money, and now we don't even have anything to sell. What have you done?" And she takes the beans and she throws them out the window and she sends Jack up to bed without supper. Come morning, the sun is shining, but Jack's room is very dark. So he wakes up and he looks out the window, and what does he see? A gigantic beanstalk has grown up where the beans were thrown the night before. And remember, Jack is a very, very curious child. So he has to climb the beanstalk. And Jack is a very good climber. So up he goes. And when he gets to the top, he finds a house. And he knocks on the door and he goes into the house, and he sees a goose sitting atop a basket of golden eggs. And Jack knows that gold is going to solve their financial problems. Like, they are going to be able to sell these eggs and buy whatever they need. They are set if he can get this goose and these golden eggs back down to the beanstalk, back to his mother. So he starts to run away with the goose to take her and her golden eggs. And as he's making his escape, he hears loud footsteps. And there's a giant who says, "Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of a little one." And Jack panics. He grabs the goose. He runs back down the beanstalk, goose in tow, back home. Phew! And he and his mother have the goose. They have the golden eggs. They should be all set. But remember, Jack is a curious kid, and he wants to know what else is up there. Because he only saw this one thing, and it was a goose that lays golden eggs. Like, there's got to be other super cool stuff up there. And he can't help it. He knows he should not go back up there, but he has to. He is dying to know what else he can find. I know you all know how that feels, right? You're dying to know. You need an answer. And so, up Jack goes. And he's a good climber, and he has climbed the beanstalk before, so he is not worried. So he gets back up there. He doesn't see the giant. But before he can explore too much, he hears the giant coming again. And the giant says, "Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of a little one." And Jack hides in a pot and waits and waits. And the giant doesn't find him. So Jack peers out the top of the pot to see what's going on. And he sees the giant poking at a golden harp. And the giant pokes the harp and says, "Play!" And the harp starts to play music on its own. And Jack knows that there is nothing cooler than that. So while he's not going to take it and sell it, he thinks this would make Mom really happy, and she deserves to be happy. So he waits and waits and waits, and the giant falls asleep. And Jack creeps over and grabs the harp and starts to leave with it. And the giant wakes up and says, "Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of a little one." And Jack yelps and he grabs the harp and he starts running. And the giant is chasing him. And Jack is climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing down the beanstalk. But he is holding a harp and it is slowing him down. And giants have long arms and long legs and are excellent climbers. And the giant is gaining on him. And Jack hurries even faster, as fast as he can go, makes it to the bottom. Phew! But the giant is close on his heels, and Jack knows he needs to act fast. So Jack grabs his axe and starts thwacking away, cutting through this beanstalk, and it is massive, so it takes him a long time, but Jack is really strong from all of his chores. And so, just in the nick of time, the beanstalk falls over, the giant falls, and Jack is safe. So here's the challenge to you. I want you to build something that would help Jack get the harp down the beanstalk faster. If Jack is climbing holding a harp, he has to at least have one arm holding the harp and one hand to climb. But if Jack had a zip line or a pulley system with a basket or a rocket ship, he could get down the beanstalk a lot more quickly and a lot more safely. So that's your challenge. Build something to help Jack get down the beanstalk before the giant catches him and while keeping Jack safe. I can't wait to see what you come up with. Let us know on our social media. You can build and tag your creations. We are Merrimack LIBNH on Instagram or Merrimack Public Library on Facebook. You can find all of our social media linked on our homepage of our website, merrimacklibrary.org. So I can't wait to see what you come up with. Happy building, and I will see you next time. Bye.